low-key shining. Go till you get right. Back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Alexa. I do a lot of faith related videos. This is one of many. I know I told myself I wasn't gonna do Euphoria inspired makeup again, but I just feel like doing this and it came out pretty good. This video is going to be faith related only. I'm going to be addressing a misconception that people have over Christians. One big misconception about Christians is that we're basically forced to obey God. We're forced, like we just have to. To me, that's just a huge misconception on so many levels, honestly. Being forced to do something for God, more tied to the cultural term of like faith for others is like religion. The term religion, like the way people say we are forced to do things for God, that we are forced to do it because if we don't do it, we don't go to heaven. That's just a lack of knowledge, honestly. People who usually say things like that don't know an actual Christian, doesn't know somebody like me who is a Christian, who lives off of faith. They know regular people who believe in God but don't walk in that. That kind of thinking about Christians and about faith, it's just so... there's a lack of understanding there because you can't base faith off of something that you've heard off of Instagram, social media, culture. The source that you're getting all these ideas and thoughts from isn't coming from people who actually live off of faith like I do. It's coming from people who don't live off of faith, who aren't Christians, who don't believe, who probably believe but don't live in faith. As a Christian, I obey God. That God sets in my heart to do, I do them, but I don't do them because I'm forced. I do them because I love God. My faith is a part of who I am. But if I don't extend that to somebody else, it's pointless. If I have faith and I'm not sharing it to anybody else, it's pointless. It's dead. It's nothing. It doesn't matter. Obeying God to me is like someone or somebody having a girlfriend or a boyfriend. If your girlfriend tells you to do something, you're gonna do it. Why? Because you love them. Because when it's real love, it's a choice. It's not mandatory to do it. You want to do it. If it was that way, and if we as Christians were forced to do things for God, I wouldn't be a Christian if it was that way. If we were forced to actually do things for God. But because we love God and because we live off of faith and because faith is in us and He is in us, we do what He says, even if it's risky, even if it's scary. The grace we receive as Christians is the grace that we have to extend onto others. When you have a desire in obeying God, He will bring you a supplier. The proper response to God's love is always verbalized. I'm a firm believer in faith without works is dead. I'm a true believer in that because if you have faith but you don't extend that to somebody who needs it, it's pointless. So this is how I see it. So religion, okay, this is religion and this is faith. If I'm being completely honest, I really hate the word religion. When people ask me what's your religion, I'm just like, I hate that word, honestly. I think that word has a negative connotation to it because when you think of religion, you think of what you see off of social media. When you think of religion, you don't think of people who are Christians and believers. This is where religion and faith is completely two different things. But I really do feel like religion has a negative connotation to it because when you think of religion, you think of someone forcing you to do things, doing good things, only to go to heaven, being a good person overall. But for me, my faith, my religion consists of extending what I have and what I know onto somebody else, being there for them, being nice to someone who probably isn't even nice to me. I recently watched this sermon off of Transformation Church called Crazy Faith. It was like a whole series called Crazy Faith. I just want to read a couple of the notes that I have on there just to give you an idea of what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say. Crazy faith, thoughts and actions that lack reason but trusting fully in what you cannot explicitly prove. It's not faith if you can figure it out. Faith starts where understanding ends. You can't put faith in action if you have to understand it all to move in faith. Faith is not found in what you are believing for. Faith is found in who you are believing in. Maybe it's the grace of God that empowers you to live a different life. It's maybe faith. It's maybe I can't do this without God. What are you filling that gap with? Talent, networking, money. He is the God that will supply your need every single day. But sometimes the blessings of God make us self-sufficient and we no longer depend or trust in Him anymore. That's why there's always a gap between where you are and what you can do. Faith will be uncomfortable. Faith will be unfamiliar. Faith will require new provision. You aren't safe in faith. Those are a couple of notes that I've written down from like watching that Crazy Faith series on Transformation Church. I feel like some of these notes really tie in into what I'm trying to say. I just feel like people are pinning God to a formula. This is God. This is you being a good person. You doing something good for once. You not being a liar. And then heaven is like right here. and like God is like down here, because it's like your last priority, but you're trying to do everything just to make it to heaven. You're like past the bare minimum to just trying to be a good person, trying to go to heaven, trying to act like you know God, but you don't even live in it. You don't live in faith like you say you would. I got saved around like November of like 2018, so it's been like a year. Looking back to who I was before back then to who I am now, like right in front of this camera, I'm looking at two completely different people, honestly. Because before I knew Jesus the way I know him now, on a deeper level, I used to think the same thing because I grew up in church not having a relationship with him. Faith is self-sacrifice. When I say self-sacrifice, it's like you're no longer depending on yourself, on your own needs, on your own desires. You're not living on your own terms anymore. You're living on his terms. Your desires and your pleasures and the things of the world that you really like, you're sacrificing all of that. And as you go to church and you start to understand and you start to have wisdom. I saw somebody post something saying you don't have to go to church to know God. Let me tell you, people who say those things. If you think you don't need to go to church to know God or to have a relationship with him, you're wrong. You're basically saying, I don't want to learn from God. It isn't essential to me. That's basically what you're saying. You're surrounded by a community who believes. People who go to church and people who know you will uplift you. Listen, when you give your life to God, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Because with faith, you're not safe. Meaning, you can't sit back and just be like, I'm good, like, I got this on my own, nothing's wrong with me. You're showing signs of pride. And what God is saying is, I don't need you to have pride. I need you to tell me what it is. I need you to talk to me. Stop talking to your friends. Stop talking to your homeboys. Stop talking to your homegirls about your problems. Talk to me. I'm here for you. I can fix this. I can give you a solution. But instead you want to talk to your friends and you want to talk to your homeboys, telling them all your problems, and all they can do is say it's gonna be okay. All they will offer you is words. They will offer no action to heal you, because they can't do that. They can't heal you. This is where you have to think beyond. The creator of this world is at the palm of your hand, and all you have to do is say, I want you to be my Lord and Savior. I want to depend on you and trust in you. I can promise you, if you pray like genuinely seeking him and you don't believe in God, you can just say like, God, if you are real, give me a sign. I promise you, he will reveal himself to you. You're gonna be shook. That's really my take on it. I always pray before my videos to really just be very open-minded about it. If you don't know, I'm a senior in high school and I'm like the only Christian in my school. It's a challenge. There's always going to be one person that judges. There's always going to be someone, right? People would rather still listen to what culture has to say than actually give God a chance. It's just really heartbreaking. I'm pretty sure there's lots and lots of people who actually go to church and believe in God but don't really walk in that. Because I have God in my heart, because I love the Lord, I choose to obey him. Love is only authenticated in choosing to love. In John 14 verse 15 through 17 it says, if you love me, show it by doing what I've told you. I will talk to the Father and he'll provide you another friend so that you will always have someone with you. This friend is the Spirit of the truth. The godless world can't take him in because it doesn't have eyes to see him, doesn't know what to look for. But you know him already because he has been staying with you and will even be in you. And the Lord makes it very clear, he's not keeping you from something, he's keeping you for something. I just want to end this video with the very last thing that I'm going to say. I actually wrote some notes yesterday, so I'm going to be reading those aloud to you guys. One of Satan's lies is that serving and obeying God is futile and pointless. It often seems that those who are against him prosper than those who are for him. Yet we need to see and understand from an eternal perspective that it is not a futile thing to love and obey God. So yeah guys, that's really all I wanted to say. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with. I'm just hoping and praying that through this video you can see religion versus a relationship with God on a whole different perspective. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. My Instagram and my Snapchat will be down below in the description if you want to follow me on all my social media.